Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Julie Mann, and I show men and women how they can lead healthy, happy, sustainable lives. And I'm really delighted because today I'm joined by Rachel Wayte. Hi, Rachel.
Hello, Julie. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me today.
Absolute pleasure. Now, for those of you that don't yet know Rachel, she works as a sound and energy healer and a spiritual mentor. So before we get into that, I'm just really curious, Rachel. When you were a young child, were you sensitive to sound and energy?
Very good question. That's really interesting. And no, I honestly don't think I was. I think this is something that developed as I grew older. I don't think it was nothing wrong that my parents did, but it's just something, well, certainly energy. That wasn't anything that was really discussed or talked about. But to be fair, sound, music was important. Like my father loved classical music. He loved the piano, and I got into singing at a really young age. So I started singing when I was about 13, 14, and carried on with singing up until, where was it now? My late 20s. So in that way, sound is very important to me, but not in a sense of understanding how it could actually help people to heal. That's something that developed a lot later.
Okay, so I know that you mentioned that you actually hid your gifts. You say you hid your gifts. So
Totally.
can you tell us why you did that and what it was like keeping those gifts under wraps?
Okay, another really good question. so I how did so I like I said to you, I trained as a classical singer and worked as a classical singer. So just went into opera, went into classical music, classical singing, and but decided that world wasn't really for me. It wasn't a world I really shone in. I found the world of they came with a lot of rejection, a lot of people judging me, and I didn't deal with that well, and I shrunk away from that actually. So for a long time, I didn't use my voice at all for about 10 or 15 years, didn't even use it, and got into the world of massage, holistic therapy, healing, because I knew that I wanted to be able to help people with stress, with anxiety, lots of things like that. And as I discovered, I spent a long time as a massage therapist, me in a room, one to one, sort of keeping myself like doing a lot of really good work, but like not putting myself out there much in the world. And what I discovered when I was massaging was that um, there were things that I was just picking up on, that I was intuitively knowing were going on for my clients. For clients, I knew why they were struggling, what they were struggling with, where it was coming from, all these kind of intuitive, I suppose, gifts that were coming to me. And it scared me. It scared me. And I didn't really want to, for a long time, I wasn't ready to use them because they scared me. And the thought of opening up to, let's say, a more spiritual way of doing things, to really working with energy healing and really opening up to that, scared me because I feared what people would think. Oh, this is all a bit, people understand massage, like they get that, don't they? But like that, the way I was going, the what I was picking up on, it was more, let's say, down the world, the woo woo world. And I was scared of what people would think. I was scared of what my family might think, because I grew up in a world where black was black, white was white. You can only see that nothing beyond this exists. There is nothing, everything is just, if you believe in anything, let's say spiritual or anything like that, then it can't be right. That's kind of how I grew up, and that what I was kind of grew up understanding. So the thing that stopped me sharing and really stepping into this was a long time was fear of what people would think and fear of being judged.
Wow. So again, you were back in that fear of rejection, and
Fear of rejection.
but in a slightly different way. So in the end, what had you decide to go public with those gifts?
Brilliant. So in the end, it got to a point where I turned 40, And in the end, I was just in a place where I felt so stuck, and I felt so under. I felt like I wasn't achieving. I wasn't successful as I wanted to be. And I knew deep down there was more that I was meant to be doing. I was meant to be doing more than just me. Nothing. I loved my massage work and I loved my clients, but I felt that there was more that I should be doing than me in a room one to one with people. And I was so stuck in overwhelm and fear and anxiety. Really, at that time, I thought, I've got to do something about this because there's more I need to be doing. So one day, I just sat there. I hired a coach, to be fair. That really helped me. I started investing in myself, which took a lot of courage. And one day I was just sitting there and I just felt this nudge and I just said, okay, I said, I'm ready. I'm ready for what I need to do. I'm ready to show who I am, to share my gifts, to really work with the energy healing work that I know can help so many people. I'm ready to do that. And I kind of put a message out there to the universe and I just said, show me what I need to do and how I need to help people. And I just, from one day to the next, said to my clients, I said, this is how I'm going to be working now. I'm not going to be doing massage. I'm going to be using energy healing and I'm going to be working intuitively how I feel led to help people. I'd been attuned to Reiki for a long time, so it wasn't like I was suddenly like, oh, I'm going to become an energy healer. I had a lot of training in energy healing and Reiki in the past. I just hadn't used it. So, and that's when it happened. I had clients in front of me that suddenly I was healing, helping them release a lot of emotional, physical things that I'd been holding on to. And one day, as I was in my room, I suddenly felt this nudge and this desire to sing. And I said to my client, I said, I'm going to start singing around you because I just feel that this is what needs to happen. Are you okay with that? And she said yes. So I started, whilst I was healing, I actually started creating sounds and vibrations and singing around my client. And it was amazing. So beautiful. And it helped to release so much more than a lot of things that she'd been holding on to.
Wow. You mentioned the word nudge.
Yes.
The time. So I want to know, I'm really curious about that. Yeah. So it was that a kind of an intuition? Was that, say more, because some people may be aware of what you're talking about and other people may think, what you mean? Like someone goes, no. What was that?
It came from inside. I suddenly heard that voice inside, that sometimes that's a voice that we ignore. We're very good at hearing that loud voice that tells you don't do this, don't do that, that more egoic sound. We're very used to listening to that, and I stopped listening to that and I listened to my heart, I suppose, more. And I heard it's a quieter voice, but it's a much more powerful voice in that sense. And I heard that voice inside that told me now is the time to do this. So I quietened and I listened here rather than here.
Yes, I think, I love what you said about quietened, because I think that we can't hear that intuition until we stop and listen. It just takes that moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I actually want to go back a little bit, because you mentioned that you trained as an opera singer, and obviously you talked about the fact that you couldn't handle the rejection. But tell us about that time in your life. What was great about that? Because clearly it was the kind of foundation for what you do now, in a way, wasn't it?
It is. And that's, in a way, why I am so grateful for all that time I spent learning how to singing how to use my voice. And there were parts of it that I loved. I loved being able to be a character and be on stage and share that with the audience. And that part of things I totally loved. I wouldn't like to sit here and say I hated everything about my musical upbringing, and that is not true. But I suppose, those were the things that I loved about it, and being with other people, performing on stage, that type of thing was wonderful. And actually what it gave me was a sense of, now when I'm maybe doing a live training, or I'm working with someone, or I'm working with groups of people, or I am actually doing a sound healing, like for groups of people, I have that. I'm okay on stage. I'm okay in front of people, because I had that for quite a lot of time in my life, having to go out there and do things feeling nervous, do things feeling scared. And that came from, I'm very, very grateful to the time that I spent, doing that as singing. That helped me to get where I am now.
Wow. I mean, as you're talking, I'm really curious to hear that opera sound, that kind of that the sound that you make. And you may not feel that it's appropriate to make a sound, but if at some point you want to do that, I think that would be extraordinary. So I know that you empower professional women to get unstuck.
Yes.
And we all get stuck, no matter how much personal development we've done. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You've touched on some times when clearly you felt stuck. Have you felt stuck in a way that you haven't already talked about in your life?
Have I felt stuck? So, do you mean so from what I've so just explain that question to me again?
Well, you've talked about the fact that you it sounds like you felt stuck when you got to the point where you were like, I don't like this rejection, I don't like this, the stuff that was coming up, the kind of maybe the limiting beliefs that you had around being accepted and acknowledged and valued and all that sort of stuff. Is there a specific time when you felt stuck that maybe was slightly different from any of the things you've just talked about?
So there was another time, yes. This was more. So when I finished singing, that was sort of late 20s, and I really stepped into who I was meant to be in my early 40s. There's a whole 10-year gap in the middle, isn't there? And so at 40, then, that's what we discussed, I was feeling stuck and overwhelmed because I felt actually there's more I'm meant to be doing and I don't know what that is. But in the middle of that, I actually went into the corporate world. I thought, okay, I better get a job. I'm not going to become a singer. I better get a job. I went into the corporate world, and I actually very blessed. I speak French and German, so I worked as a bilingual PA for a massive company for the director of international sales. And I went into this like corporate world, and it was like I was knocked over by a bulldozer. Like I went in there and I was like, it was full on, it was stress, it was like my boss, it was a great guy but very demanding, and it 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 knocked me for six. And I actually spent 2 years there, and it got to the point where I was having panic attacks driving to work. I was having I wasn't sleep. I was not sleeping at all. So I actually went through. Yeah, I will be completely honest. I was signed off from work for 2 weeks with stress and anxiety, and I actually never went. I actually handed my notice in from that job because it was. I was seeing so much stress and anxiety of people in there that weren't happy. Wasn't making me happy. So I had to. I had to really work through a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, and that was a difficult time. That was a hard time, maybe even harder than feeling completely stuck, because you're having a panic attack driving to and from work is not a nice thing to be having, and maybe people can resonate with that. And it's taken me a long time to work through that.
I can certainly relate to that because I used to experience panic attacks, and in the end I went to see a hypnotherapist, which is why at the end of it, of working with her and releasing that, I suddenly thought, wow, I'm going to train to do that, because I was so kind of gobsmacked that actually I could overcome that, because of course I thought I was the only one in the world. And
we all, I'm sure most of us at some point have struggled with some stress and some anxiety.
Absolutely, especially now with what's going on. So if someone watching, Rachel, is feeling that they've reached a bit of a plateau, or they feel like they're just missing out, they're not sure what it is, they can't put their finger on it, what advice would you give them?
Okay, so this I would give them the advice that I actually kind of got from my husband. And because he saw me when I was like really at that plateau in my early 40s. And I was going around in circles, and I wasn't really, people were suggesting things. I was saying no. They kept saying reasons why I couldn't do it, why I couldn't change. And he actually said to me, he said, Rachel, do you actually want to change? Because from where I'm coming from, he said this to me, it doesn't look like it. And it was amazing for me to receive that message, because actually I realized that the only way, and this is what I want to say to people, the only way I was going to get out of this, over this plateau, or out of where I was to focus on myself. I had to really begin to look at how I was showing up each day, how I was managing my energy, what my thoughts were, what my beliefs were. And I had to go on a whole journey of, it starts with you. That's all I can say to people, is it starts with you. It starts with you taking care of yourself, looking at your behaviors, maybe having some counseling, healing, mentoring, something that's going to help you discover what it is that is keeping you stuck. Working, and I've spent a long time working through that, and that has helped me. That all that work I've done on myself, and realizing that putting myself first is not selfish. Actually, the more I put myself first, the more I was there for my family. I felt more happy. I felt better in myself, and the more I was then able to really realize what it was that I was meant to be doing and how I was meant to be helping people. And it all started with me. So that's where it has to begin, with you.
I absolutely love that. Wow, what a man.
Yes.
That's just such a powerful question. I think you really hit the nail on the head, actually. People say they want to change, but are they actually willing to do the work? And the work, whatever that looks like, can feel very scary. And yeah, but yeah, you're right. That's the $1 million question, isn't it? Do you want to change? And if so,
the other thing I wanted to say was, I think I was sitting there waiting for external factors to make me happy. I was waiting for me to be earning more money. I was waiting for this, and I was waiting. Oh, and when I've got that, I'll feel happy. So I was waiting, and you'll be waiting for ages if you're just sort of expecting something else to come in and make you happy. And that was the other thing I realized, it has to start from here.
Totally. So why would you say
Mm-hmm.
someone should come to you? Not that you'd use the word should, I'm sure, because there are heaps and heaps of coaches, aren't there? They're everywhere. And a lot of coaches help people get unstuck. So why would someone come to see you specifically?
Specifically, I love being able to help people, and the way I help people may be slightly different than some coaches, because I am able to really, with the energy work, with the intuition that I have, with I work very intuitively, so you have to be kind of a bit open-minded to working intuitively. I am able to help you really understand the root cause. What is the root? And that may be something that stems from way back. What is the root cause as to why you are stuck, and help you move that. So the energy of that may well be stuck within your body, thoughts, your emotions, you may be in pain, that I help you release that. And when that's moved on from your body, when that's cleared, when that's shifted, you're going to feel much lighter, and you're going to then feel like you have the energy and the desire to move forwards. And sometimes people think about, they think they set goals, and they set these things that they want to do, and then they'll sabotage it, and they struggle with things like that. And I help you understand why you may be sabotaging, and help you work through that, so that next time when you set a goal, or you have something you want towards to, you're not going to sabotage it.
Brilliant. So in a nutshell, Rachel, what is sound and energy healing? Someone's going, what's she talking about?
What even is that? Okay, so in a nutshell, we'll try and sum this up very quickly. Let's just bring it back to basics. Everything is energy. We are all energy. Everything around us is energy. This water is energy. Every object has its own energy, has its own vibration. Our bodies are energy. And when everything is, we have an energy that flows through us. We can feel that, because when we feel great, we know that energy is flowing well. When we feel low, when our emotions get stuck in the way, when we feel stressed, our energy isn't flowing as it should, and we don't feel so great. And as an energy healer, I want you to imagine that there's this kind of this universal energy that is everywhere. It's what maintains all living beings, whether that's humans, plants, animals. And as an energy healer, I can just feel into that energy and 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 chant and send it to you, so that your energy is able to flow much more as it should. I know that's very simple, but that's kind of how energy healing works. When you add sound on top of that, I want you to imagine that all our cells within our body, our organs, even our emotions, our thoughts, they have an energy to them as well. They have their own frequency, they have their own vibration. And if there's something within the body that isn't vibrating as it should, for whatever reason, sound is able to, it also has a frequency and a vibration, and that is able to bring, let's say, a vibratory resonance back to the body and help everything to flow as it should. So that's very simple way of trying to explain it.
Yeah, but so powerful. I totally agree with everything you said. So can you do this with people on Zoom?
Yes. Yeah. So if you just try and get out of your head for a moment, that and know that if everything is energy, we are all connected, and I can connect to I Julie, you and I sitting here, we feel each other's energy over Zoom. I can feel it. So I can connect to your energy. I can feel, whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but I literally feel what's going on for you. If you had a pain somewhere, I would know about it. If you were struggling with guilt or with shame or with whatever it is that you may be struggling with, fear, anxiety, I will feel where that is stuck in your body. It's, call it whatever you like, intuition, a gift. It's just that's how I work. I can help you feel that, and help you move that on. So I don't need you to be sitting right next to me for me able to feel that. I work, many of my clients are based, I'm in the UK, they're in America, they're in Australia, they're all over. So Zoom is a wonderful thing, because it means I can connect with people from wherever you are.
Extraordinary.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. And I guess for a lot of people, they have to suspend their belief in a way and kind of try it. And yeah.
And that's why I was going to say, that's why I always offer a free complimentary half-an-hour session, so you to be able to feel it, because sometimes you have to just try it and just see, is this for me?
Yeah, fabulous. And it's so much about the person you're working with, isn't it?
Yeah. We have to be able to connect. You have to be able to connect with me, and to be fair, I have to be able to connect with you as well. And if it's not going to work, I would tell you.
Brilliant. Okay, so obviously I'm going to put all your links below this video, so please check out Rachel Wayte with the information below. So what do you do, Rachel, when you're not working?
We have a dog. We have a lovely little chihuahua, and that we have, so I'm able to take him out on some lovely walks, and bless us, we have a lovely 8-year-old daughter as well. So I'm a dance mom in my other spare time. She loves dancing, so we're at dance competitions, we're at training, so I that's what I do. And for myself, I love, because I need to look after my energy, and because I'm seeing people quite a lot, I do things. So I meditate. I love exercising, and I'm mad about cold water therapy. So I actually, most mornings you won't see me because no one needs to see this. I have a cold shower. It really gets my energy going. And my husband and I, we love going dipping in fresh water. So we'll find pools of water where we can get under fountain, waterfalls. And it really helps me reset my energy. Even in the middle of winter, I get in cold water.
Fantastic. Okay. So one final question, Rachel. Yeah. When you're no longer on this planet,
yes,
how would you like to be remembered?
I think it would be for the work that I have done. I suppose that the people that I have helped step out of, overcome their come out. I like to sort of see it as they're coming out of their darkness and they're coming into their light. And me helping people do that means it's going to be an amazing ripple effect in the world, because that person will have changed, and it means that they're going to then maybe have such a positive effect on other people as well. And so be remembered for that. And I do think be remembered for the sound, for the healing, for the music that I have created that has helped so many people feel better, I suppose, in a very in a very simplistic way.
Wonderful. Rachel, Wayte, it's been so great talking to you. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Julie.